This week on Driven, we have a pit pass to a homecoming like no other.
This is my very first time actually running a NASCAR race in my own home track.
For 20-year-old Howie DiSavino III, the dream to bump and bang with the big boys becomes a reality. But becoming a NASCAR driver takes more than speed, it takes teamwork. So buckle up for this special high-octane Driven. Every dream starts somewhere.
I first got interested in driving when I went to the Richmond race, and I was only 8 years old, and then I was like, wow, that's really cool, and I was like, hey Dad, we should get into it.
All of our kids, we would encourage them to live whatever dream they wanted to live.
NASCAR is everyone's dream when you start racing.
Being a NASCAR driver at 8 seems rather lofty, but I told him, sure, if that's what he wants to do, we'll do that.
12 years later, I'll be running my first race in NASCAR at my home track.
The statistical probability of a young man at 8 years old to set forth this path and say what he's going to do is probably improbable, yet Howie still did.
The dream to go from a Virginia farm to a NASCAR track takes more than speed. It takes more than horsepower or the right number. It takes what 20-year-old Howie DiSavino III has.
It was very clear, like, there's something special here with kind of the right people, the right sponsors, with the right opportunities. The driver, the kid, seemed to have the right stuff.
2017 ARCA champion and NASCAR driver Austin Theriault saw that something special.
I like confident drivers. Howie had that confidence, and it sort of resonated with me because I feel like that's so important.
For acclaimed Xfinity Series driver and race team owner Jordan Anderson, he saw the making of a NASCAR star.
I definitely think it was a mix of his confidence and what he wanted to do, his dream, his desires for it. That's so big in the sport because it's so easy to get knocked down. I mean, this is a sport where you can be on the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in an hour period in a race. But he definitely has a lot of perseverance. He's got a great family support system behind him.
All things with the DiSavinos start with family. And on this weekend where Howie will drive in his first NASCAR race, his first pit stop is home.
I wasn't even thinking about the race at all. I was more just thinking about, getting home, seeing my family.
It had been a month since Howie had moved away to work with Jordan Anderson Racing.
The first thing I thought was, hey, the grass is really mowed nice. I mean, I do better, but it looks good. I get it done quicker too, I will say that. He takes 4 hours, I take 2.
Howie's always gone fast. He got his first four-wheeler at 4 years old, driving around, and he got his motorcycle when he was 6.
The dirt bike was so big, my feet couldn't even touch the ground, so my dad had to push me off. It was definitely awesome to be around motors my whole life and driving stuff pretty much ever since I was little.
Even with his NASCAR debut just 24 hours away, Howie looks for any chance to drive, as I found out the hard way.
If we're gonna go have a fun time, let's go have a fun time.
Next time, I'll have Howie define fun. But this is where his need for speed began.
I'll drift it around corners, jump it. I've even flipped it before. Stuff happens sometimes, and I don't think that you'll enjoy me driving you on that too much.
How high were we?
You could have rolled. It's okay to do some, but not that high. No, I mean, you were doing probably 50 miles an hour. I mean, cut it back. Because if you'd gone too high and rolled, you'd been in deep trouble. We got a big race tomorrow. Don't get hurt.
Yeah. All right, I'll do it a little bit slower.
It was Howie's speed need that brought him and his dad to Richmond Raceway.
First time I went to Richmond Raceway, Howie was 8 years old.
That's when I actually started to fall in love with NASCAR. I watched it a little bit on TV, and I was like, Dad, I just want to go to one.
It was a 7 p.m. race, and he wanted to show up at 7 a.m. So we were there all day long. He's talked to every single driver he could see. He even got one of Dale Jr.'s lug nuts and still has it in his room today. He was so excited.
I told him as soon as I showed up, I said, this is what I'm going to do. He was like, how about ballet? I said, nope, no, I'm not doing it. I'm doing this.
With a hard no on ballet, Howie turned up the heat.
He begged and begged to get a race car, and actually his mother wouldn't let him get one until he was 13 years old, and then we bought the first race car. And when he first got into late model, Howie couldn't even drive a car, didn't know how to drive a stick shift. So we put him in second gear, pushed him forward, and he drove around the track, first time ever, not knowing what he's doing. And those days I can go back and look and think, at that point I figured out that that's what he wanted to do for a living.
Howie's family really didn't have a background or that much of an interest in racing until Howie expressed an interest at a very young age.
We didn't grow up in the NASCAR world. I don't even know anything about NASCAR. Funny part about that is it doesn't matter. If my son loves it and the team wants to do it, I just go along with it. So those partners really have spent so much time, investing in just the family aspect of what we do.
I think for us it was his determination. He knew exactly what he wanted, he knew how he was going to go after it, he just needed the help to get there. And we had the help to give it to him to get him there.
It also took the team experiencing a major setback at Myrtle Beach Speedway to move a major step forward.
And then we decided to put a different motor in and run it up to Myrtle Beach and see what we can do in a big race. Sadly, we didn't make the race because we didn't do well in qualifying, but that's where we met Austin Terrio, and that's where the dream really started.
Sometimes I feel like the lows of the lows can actually bring up the biggest opportunities, and I've personally had that happen with my career.
When we met Austin the first time, he didn't have to stop and talk to Howie.
Austin was sitting on the wall. I didn't know him at the time, and he said, "It's okay, man." I said, "Yeah, no, it's not. It's not."
Saw a kid that looked a little down. He looked frustrated. He looked defeated, and it resonated with me because, especially early on, I had moments like that too.
But I never put two and two together. And when I saw the 52 car, I said, "No way." I've watched him win that whole 2017 season.
If it wasn't for Austin helping us navigate, we'd still be racing locally, and there's nothing wrong with racing locally. We loved it, but it didn't get Howie to where he needed to be or where he wanted to be.
If I feel like I can be a part of something bigger, then I'm going to put the time in. And I feel like that in this situation.
Literally, this dream is coming true from the hard work of those people that are behind Howie. And I remind Howie all the time, racing's it's a team sport. Sure, the guy in the car gets all the glory and all the praise, but without the people behind him, he didn't get the chance to run in the car. And so he understands that, he believes that, he loves his team, he loves his partners, loves his fans, and that's a huge part of what he's about and making that dream come true.
You only get one NASCAR debut, and Jordan told me, he was like, "Hey man, look, when you sit on that starting grid," he said, take a minute to look in the stand with the fans, look at the track, look at the drivers, and he said, "You only get that one time."
Howie's one-time debut will have an extra obstacle to overcome.
You've never driven this vehicle before and you're racing it
in 2 days.
in 2 days.
Yeah, my first lap that I'll be able to make is when the green flag drops and we're at full speed. So that's gonna be my first time.
It's a homecoming like no other when Howie makes his NASCAR debut at his hometown track. When Driven continues. For 20-year-old Howie DiSavino III, this was a homecoming like no other. A homecoming at 180 miles an hour.
I mean, this is a big jump from what Howie raced even last year. Howie was at the national level, but this is the national level on steroids. And he's only a couple steps from the top.
This weekend, Howie would make his NASCAR Camping World Truck Series debut for Jordan Anderson Racing in the Toyota Care 250.
He's making his debut in Richmond, which is where we started from, where he first said at 8 years old he wanted to be a NASCAR driver, and kind of laughed and thought, "Sure, buddy, that sounds great." And here he is, 12 years later, he's starting his NASCAR career in Richmond.
It's extremely difficult to make it to the top, right? I was fortunate to have some opportunities to do that and get to see the dynamics behind it and what's required. It's a combination of being at the right place at the right time, luck, having great marketing partners behind you like Buds and some of the other partners that Howie has a chance to work with.
When someone partners with you and sponsors you, it is probably the single greatest compliment one could give.
We knew he had talent. I don't think we knew it was going to go as far as it did, as fast as it did.
And they believe in me enough to want to keep supporting me. And every race I race with them, that's my main goal, is to show them why they are doing what they're doing for me
He understands the full picture of what it takes to deliver for his sponsors and partners. His family's behind him. He's got a great fan base, so you can see all the people that came out tonight. And all those different things go together to make this all happen.
What is happening is a meet and greet with Howie and his growing legion of fans.
At the base and heart of racing, it's all about the fans. And the fans are what drive sponsorships, and the sponsorships are what keep these race cars on the racetracks.
The extended DiSavino family of friends, fans, and partners gathered at Q Barbecue in his hometown to witness Howie's dream become a reality.
You got a little fan club going out here, Howie.
I do.
You got a little, how does it feel to have a fan club?
It feels awesome to be able to, see everyone that supported me from day one to come out here. So it's just a pure awesome feeling that to have with them.
How does it feel to have that?
That
on your
NASCAR
shoulder,
stick,
man?
to have that on my shoulder, it makes me feel accomplished, like I made it, and it's just such a big accomplishment to me.
But the DiSavino's dream wasn't the only one coming true.
Honestly, this is a dream come true for me personally, even more so for my company. I've been involved in local racing for years and years around North Carolina and Virginia. And so we finally made it to where we could get this in our first NASCAR race along with Howie.
Howie's first race in Richmond is actually your first NASCAR race as a sponsor.
That is absolutely correct. I always had a dream of driving in NASCAR, and I raced late models for a long time, but was never near good enough to do it. So this was the next best option, and I like this one better than me driving.
I really couldn't be able to do this without him as well. So it's more of he's helping my dream, and I'm helping his dream, and we're doing it together as partners.
My dream has always been to see a Q logo on the side of a NASCAR. Dreams definitely come true, but the big thing is to see the support.
Well, myself personally and the whole family was really excited to see how many people showed up from the community, just to have so many people come out and enjoy an afternoon and see the truck and see Howie and I guess be part of something bigger than just the racing.
It was more than a meet and greet. It was also a fundraiser for the Ask Childhood Cancer Foundation, a foundation that for 9 out of Campbell Brandt's 15 years has been a part of her young life.
It's so important to me because they've been with me from the day of my diagnosis all the way up to now, supporting me and my family through everything we've been through, and just making sure that we're taken care of, along with a bunch of other childhood cancer kids in treatment and survivors in the local Richmond area.
To be able to bring those two worlds together for a good cause is just, I can't really put it into words, but it's a great feeling for everybody.
It was a perfect kind of melding of events. It's the backbone of who we are. We are family, and the community is our family.
Well, without community support, Ask wouldn't exist, a nonprofit. So they run on donations and sponsors, and so the community coming out here to support it, it just means the world to kids like me.
In the end, this was not only a prelude to a dream coming true, it was a true family reunion.
I don't really look at it as I'm giving back to the community. I support Chesterfield County, Virginia as it is, and they support me back. So I think it's more of like, we are working together.
For Howie and his race team, the real work continues at Richmond Raceway. Coming up, it's race day and Howie's NASCAR debut.
The way that I look at it in life in general is you're never ready for anything until you do it.
Up next, When Driven continues. It's 5 hours until the start of the NASCAR Camping Truck Series at America's premier short track. But for the DiSavinos, one finish line has already been crossed.
It's the point where we finally made it. we're there. All that hard work and time and energy is all coming together right here on Saturday.
20-year-old Howie DiSavino III is in the RV lot with the people that have traveled with him on his journey to NASCAR.
Today means the world to Howie. He grew up 30 minutes from this track, watching races, not having any idea what it took to get here, just knowing that maybe someday that could be him. And for him to actually be this close to getting in a vehicle that's going to race competitively around this track is amazing.
To have the people behind me, it means so much, just knowing that they're here to support me and really help me out. And it just showed me so much love. That means a lot to me.
How is Howie's dad doing?
I'm a nervous wreck.
He was a nervous wreck. He was talking about everything in the whole world, so he was definitely a nervous wreck. I had to tell him personally, I said, hey man, calm down.
And it's not really nervous, I'm just excited for him. I want him to do well. You know, this is everything he's worked so hard for. And so the fact that we're here is just beyond exciting.
I'm nervous because we don't have practice like years before. COVID kind of changed the landscape. They're going green. He's never been on the racetrack before at Richmond. He's seen it from the grandstands, but he's never been in a truck. He's never been on the racetrack. So this is like throwing somebody to the wolves. But we felt like Howie was ready. And that's the part of me that's excited for him, because I just told him, look, go out there and finish the race, do the best you can. The whole race you're gonna learn.
And when that green flag drops, it's the first time he's been around this track before. That's gotta be difficult.
This is a race also where some of the Cup guys drop down and will run. So he's gonna be running shoulder to shoulder with NASCAR Cup champions on this track today. And so it makes sense that we're here, but it's hard to believe.
Nervousness aside, there's an overriding joy and pride among those that have believed in the kid from Chesterfield County.
Today is a celebration of all of the hard work that the teams and the partners and the sponsors and the fans and the family, everyone could not be happier that we're here today to celebrate that Howie's doing this amazing accomplishment at such a young age.
Longtime sponsors have come out in force with their kids in tow.
We have almost the entire Buds company out here supporting Howie in his quest for victory here at Richmond.
Seeing the name out there is pretty cool, but just getting everybody together is almost equally as exciting, if not more.
As Howie heads to the track with a COVID-limited team, family, friends, and fans remain reveling in his achievements and waiting for the green flag to drop.
When we're out there and Howie's on the track, I hope everybody knows how much he appreciates them and what they've done to get him there. Howie knows he didn't do this on his own. He did this together with the whole community.
When we return, the HG3 racing team reflects on a race well run. The history of NASCAR is full of firsts. Now, 20-year-old Howie DiSavino III is part of that story. After completing all 250 laps, there is still one more drive, back to his friends, family, and dad.
I can't wait to tell him I'm proud of him. No matter the outcome, I just can't wait to see him when he's over and tell him how proud we are.
After finishing the race with no power steering, Howie's arms were so spent he needed help taking off his backpack. His dad was there.
Our goal was to just finish the race. I mean, again, he's never ever been in a NASCAR truck, and he's never been at Richmond. So when that green flag dropped, it was the first time he's ever raced it, and or been in that truck. So we were super proud just to have him finish strong, and had some mechanical issues, but he overcame them and did really well.
Today was a day of, I think, overcoming obstacles, just with some of the radio communication issues that happened early on that really set the team back. It set Howie back a little bit, but he didn't. The thing that impressed me is nobody panicked. You know, they came in, they fixed it, he went back out and just started clicking off laps. And then something else happened. I guess a piece of debris off the racetrack maybe came up and knocked a power steering belt off, which is maybe less than a 1% chance of that happening.
My crew chief said, hey buddy, if you can muscle it out, do it. If you can't, then just pull in. And I said, oh no, we're gonna finish this race. And he was like, okay. I was like, this is why I go to the gym every day. You ain't got to worry. I'm gonna take care of it. Like, you know, I got to handle it, and that's exactly what we did. We took care of everything that we had to get handled done.
If it could go wrong, it went wrong, and he just kind of stayed pretty calm, and everybody on the crew stayed calm and coached him through that. I think all in all, it was a good weekend.
You know, in the end, we persevered through so much, and having all the support back here, you know, everyone having a good time, that really just means a lot to me.
Being a fan of the DeSavinos is easy. They are good people, and their passion for life and compassion for each other is contagious.
You did a hell of a job, young
I
man.
appreciate it.
Made a lot of people proud.
Thank you.
I mean, look at the people that are here to support him after the race. They could have gone home, but that just shows that win or lose, they're here behind him. And I like working with teams and drivers that have that support system behind them, because you can't do it alone. You can't do that without them, even his family. And I'm happy I can play a small part in that.
To me, the dreams never stop. So we take one dream at a time, and now we got this dream as accomplished and we're over. I can't wait to see where we're going to go next.
The DeSavinos will go together following Howie's dream. For as much as the DeSavinos have given to the sport, their racing community has given back.
Actually, racing saved our family. My wife's gone through some significant challenges with cancer, and our whole family's been through that. Racing gave us an outlet to put towards something other than treatments and chemo and all the other things that go along with the world of cancer. And the racing community just supported us. They surrounded us at the track and helped us out.
Just before Howie's 5th NASCAR race, his mother, Dawn, passed away after her courageous 5-year battle with cancer. In tribute to Dawn, the HD3 racing team put her name above Howie's door. Howie raced in her honor and said his mom told him to pass them all. It may have been after Howie's first NASCAR race, but his dad's words probably never rang truer.
I'm super proud of him. He really did awesome.
You're a little proud of your family.
I am.